discovered recently is something interesting about the bow. And I started noticing for my students who does it, which way. But, can you place your bow at the frog? Place the bow, put it on any string at the frog. Go ahead. Do your fingers feel stiff?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So the way to solve that is to, instead of holding the wrist like this, bring the wrist like that. Come on, try it. So, right. So when you bring the, and lay the bow on your thumb, does that feel more relaxed? So when you bring the bow to the frog, I want you to make sure that you bend the wrist. So you kind of fold your arm like this, rather than like this. Yes. Yes. Oh, no. All were good and then you stop doing it. Have you ever seen a puppet show? You know, so you have to pretend that there was a string here and someone was drawing your arm like this by the wrist, not by the fingers, but by the wrist. You've seen those, right? With a puppet master, it's a little creepy, I know. But yeah, that's what you have to do. Keep going. I really like your elbow level, but I think it's a little too much. I think it goes so much that you can't bend your wrist anymore. This is what you have here. Level of the string, not higher. Keep going. So if you hear D string while you're playing on A string, that probably means that your elbow is too high now, right? So you gotta relax it a little. You gotta constantly adjust when you play the violin. Well, you constantly have to be like, oh, it goes to D string, okay? Let me relax my elbow. You have to be quick, okay? Keep going. Spread your feet, spread your feet. Very good. Relax your elbow. Relax elbow. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. That's it. So you see the sound becomes more beautiful. It's less clumsy. Can you remember that for me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You can practice in front of the mirror. You can see it, feel it, so that your fingers are more relaxed at the frog. And I think it's going to be great. Okay? All right. Now, remember we did 3 and 4 exercise? Did you do it at home? Good. Show me. Next. Does your wrist feel stiff? Or Or does it feel okay? Can you try again, and can you try to put try to feel your wrist to make sure that it's not rock hard. Is that alright? Good. Next. Light here. Light. Don't squeeze with the fingers on the bow. You see how your fingers are a little bit like this? It looks like a crab. That means you're squeezing. Just kind of place your fingers on the bow, and you can lean in, but you can't squeeze. You can't hold. So place the bow down, right, but do not squeeze with those fingers. Good. And on the E. Oh, your third finger is too high. Good. Now, because you did so well, I'm going to give you a harder exercise for next week. That's your reward. So low, regular 3, 4, high 3, 4, then going back and forth like that. Go ahead. Very good. Keep going, keep going. Yeah. You can't slide your finger, you have to lift it. So, let me show you again. Lift it a little bit. You don't have to lift it so high, but you have to lift it just a little bit. So it's on top of the string and not into the string. Does it make sense? That's it. Oh, higher, higher, third finger. Good, on G string. Well. As you play, make sure as you try hard, you don't lean towards the violin. Remember, open up your back, stand up straight. Because once you start doing this, then you start pressing down and you're building tension. So don't do that. Yeah. Okay, and as you're focusing very hard on the left hand and you're doing a wonderful job, can you check in with the right hand to make sure nothing is squeezing? So what's difficult about this one is that the left hand has to go pretty strong, right? You have to push your fingers down. But the right hand has to be
relaxed.
You can't let your left hand squeeze your right hand, if that makes sense. It's almost like, in my head, I imagine that there is a string that goes from here all the way to here. And when this hand struggles, this hand starts struggling too. And I have to tell myself, nope, I gotta cut the string right here. And completely independent. This hand is doing its own thing, this hand is doing its own thing. Okay? So I want you to just check it. You're doing wonderfully with the left hand. Just check in with your right hand to make sure it's not following your left hand. Yeah, and remember about the wrist, yeah? Not like this, like this. Wrist up. Try again. There you go. See if that helps. Come on. No. Yes. Good. Very nice. And relax your hand now. Do a few of those exercises so you start building muscle. It's going to be also easier for him once he grows a little bit. Can you take the violin and take the scroll into your hand like this? Go ahead, scroll of the violin. Where's the scroll? Scroll, 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 scroll. The head of the violin? All right. So, parts of the violin. What is the black thing called where you put your fingers down?
The finger board?
Good. What is that thing called that holds the strings where the bow goes?
The pad?
The what? That wooden thing right there.
This?
Yeah.
The bridge?
Very good. What about that thing that holds the strings over there by your nose? Yeah.
This?
Yeah. All right, so there's this picture, parts of the violin. Go over it, okay? Go parts of the scroll is that far, right there. So what I want you to do is take the scroll into your hand like this and hug it, hug it. Yeah, that violin is just the right size for him right now. So I think as he grows, it's going to be a little easier. All right, very nice. Let's do Happy Farmer, please. Two and two. You know, you're doing wonderful. You know, everything sounds good. Everything is all right. Everything is good. Straight up, Will. Like this. Because it affects the sound. If you go like this, you get tension, the sound gets weaker, so it's not as fun, okay? And one last thing, start lower in the bow. Don't start here. Because then you'll end up... This is where your head should be, like that. Like this, yeah? Keep going. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Now, let me ask you one question. Did you play along with the recording?
No.
I know. Can I tell you why? I think it's very close to being very excellent, and Professor Luxer is very happy to be. Be my teacher. Let's see if you can spot the problem.
To be even?
It's not exactly with the same speed. You're right. Some notes go a little faster, notes go a little slower. The way to fix that is play with the...
Recording?
Because it's going to be obvious. If you're not making it, that means, probably the recording is right. So just play along, and it's a fun way to practice. Because you're playing music with an accompaniment. You're playing music with, not just by yourself. And that's very important, okay? So I'll be your recording right now. Get ready? Ready, go! 1, 2, 3, go! I think that problem, violin is always gives problems. It seems awfully low. Let's try something. Come on. How's your break going?
Good.
Anything fun?
Present.
Presents! What did you get?
Lego.
I love Legos. What kind?
Carnival rides.
Ooh. Do you like Star Wars?
No.
Don't like Star Wars? That's fine. You don't have to like Star Wars. Come on. Weird? Or better?
Better.
Good. Yes, that's it. Yeah. So don't shrink the shoulder rest. You need support. You have small shoulders, you have long neck. You don't want to be like this or like this. Okay? Good. So happy farmer, play with the recording. Just a few times, it's fun that way. And you know all the notes so well, you don't even have to practice it anymore. All you have to do is just play it with the recording. Happy farmer, play with the recording. Now, I'm trying to put the recital together. On Sunday, the 19th, at Campbell Learning Center, where the exam takes place, I rented the hall. So I think it's going to happen. The only thing is I don't know how many of my students will play, because a lot of people can't play. So it might be very short, like 5-6 people.
Okay.
And that's it. But I think he should play.
Okay.
And I want him to play Happy Farmer, maybe a minuet. We'll see how the gavotte goes. If he can learn the gavotte, I want him to play the gavotte too. Because I'll be out of town next weekend, so no lesson. So
Okay.
we'll have one more lesson before or 2 more lessons before the thing. All right. So gavotte. That was almost very good, Will. That part. Make sure that they're the same, yeah? Which note wasn't the same?
C.
Try again. Listen. It was very close. But still, one note was not the same. I want you to do that again, but I want you to, instead of thinking, I want you to listen. So you spot which note it is.
D.
Correct. On the way down, it's flat. Has to be the same both times. Very good. Keep going. Well, that's very good work. You practiced a lot and you practiced well. I'm very proud of you. This part is hard. Can you hear that? And C natural. It lags just a little bit. Loading, 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 loading. It happens because you need to lift your second finger a little earlier. Because it has to go from here to here, right? It needs time. If you leave it down too long, it needs time to kind of process what's going on. But if you do lift, then you can get there on time. Perfect. Good. So now we're gonna go to the middle section. That was really good. Did you look at it? Okay. Yeah, let's try again. Make sure your second finger is a little closer to your first, so it's a good half step. And then slur. Just two notes. Look, I play, you play. No. Play after me. I and freeze. I play. How many bows am I playing?
2, 3.
Your turn. Starting up bow. Starting. You play two bows. You play up, down. I play. They're all separate notes, Will. Up, down, up. That's it. So down, up, down, up. So you do a slur, separate, separate, separate. How many slurs are there? Just one. I think you want to do two slurs. You want to do. What are you gonna do? Perfect. Okay, good. What's the difference in between the beginning and this part?
The first one's staccato.
And the second one is?
Legato.
Beautiful. Great job. Now you said it right, but can I also hear it when you play? Can you connect the notes there? Remember about the wrist, right? Don't let your fingers go like this. Wrist. Look at my wrist. B, B, C. Good. We'll do more next time, okay? But I want you to keep going with this. I think it's very good. Well, you know how I discovered the thing with the wrist? I was doing it wrong. I can do it wrong and still play very well, but the thing is, I kept thinking, why does it feel so hard? Like I would bring my bow to the frog and I'd be like this. And I'm thinking, my God, my pinky is tired. It's like it has to lift weights or something. And then I thought, what did my first teacher taught me? And she was very, very good about making sure that everything looked and sounded beautiful. And then I started looking around and I started seeing, oh yeah, I forgot people do that thing with the wrist. I wonder why it's necessary. And then I found, wow, it really relaxes my fingers and it's really easy to draw the bow this way. So now I'm reinforcing it with all my students. Because some people do it, some people don't. I teach it that way, but then people forget. And it's okay, okay? But you have to make sure that when you draw the bow, not like this.